But
here.
it's been
No,
5 years.
no.
I don't
It's
want to
been
lose the whole
5 years. You're not losing the whole 5
I
years.
am.
You're gaining the next 5 years. You are gaining the
But
next
I want to
5
have them with him. I want to have the 5 years with him. I don't want to start all over again. That's too much.
Right.
It's too much. And you know what? Right, what? You agree?
Yes, I want to be with you, but
Then you know what? No, you know what? Around, you either marry me or you reimburse me. It's that simple. I have the ring already. All you got to do is get on your knees and propose.
Your Honor, she is not going to rob
I'm
me
not
of my
gonna-
manhood
That's
and
another
demand
excuse.
that I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to get a ring. I'm going to propose to
Here,
her when the
take this
time is
one.
right.
Take this
I have not even
Take
got
this
to build a
one.
relationship with her family.
In
With you,
case no one else has figured this out, y'all are not compatible. You are
I spent all of
living
this
in a
time.
fantasy world, baby. In a fantasy world.
Your Honor,
This is not your husband.
but Your Honor, I spent so
He
much time
is
invested in
barely
him.
your
It's not fair.
boyfriend.
It's not fair.
It may not be fair, but it's true. Baby, this case.
Girl, she needs to go back and look at herself on the camera. Did you see a tear fall? I ain't see not one tear come out of her eyes, not one tear fall. This is a waste of her time. And the fact that you got to take a man to a court to decide whether you want to be with him or not, that's like to force him to do right in a relationship or be with you or move to the next level. All that should have said that that man wasn't for you. And then she got him dressed so well, they matching and everything. And she talking about got a whole folder of stuff that she done bought and invest into this man. And she done spent 5 years with this man. And he's the one and it's gotta be him. Girl, somebody better give her a wake up pill. That is crazy.
Well, maybe it's something in her he see that he don't like right now.
Hmm.
Maybe he's still trying to get to know her better, trying to see what all her flaws is, or if he is willing to deal with some of her flaws. And now she ready to rush and get married or whatnot. You know, that's like the Super Bowl. That's like the Super Bowl. Man, as a matter of fact, I heard a post the other day where a woman said that, I want the wedding. I don't really want the marriage.
Mm.
I want the marriage. I wanna go through the wedding ceremony, but I don't want to be married.
That's crazy.
I think that's where we headed right now.
That's
And,
crazy.
and it's not really scary. I mean, that's not really a big thing for men because that's just how we are. But when women start saying stuff like that, then man, it's a turn of the century right there.
I think
It's
what
the
she's
turn of the
looking at
century.
is social society. When they say you've invested so much time into the man, because for years they always set these timelines and they say, well, if a man, especially when you start to listen to some of the men too, that say, oh, a man knows whether he wants to marry you within 6 months or 3 months or whatever. And so when you start to feed your mind with all that stuff, you harp on that and then you try to force situations before you're really ready. Clearly you can see that the two of them are not ready. She's still, for her to be keeping tabs of everything that she's done for this man and then demand payment. I mean, if I was a man, to just be honest, and a lot of women may not like that I said that, but why are you keeping tabs on what you did for a person that you're supposed to love? You're doing this because you want to doing it. You're not doing it to receive something in return, because if you are, then to that guy, that should be a problem. Right there for me, if I was him, that would be a problem. That she got a folder that thick and say, you pay me. So that's going to be the same thing when you marry her and y'all obtain all these material possessions and things together and it doesn't work out. She's going to want to be paid to be out.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's go ahead.
And also, she's not listening to him. He made it very clear. If you didn't hear that without just outright saying it, something's wrong with you. He says, you're not going to steal my manhood. I will get a ring. So that means there's a place that he needs to be financially so that he can do these things. Just because you can do all the stuff that you're doing, I'm not going to let you force me into doing something that I'm not financially able to do, because it's more than getting a ring and proposing to you. There are things that come along with that. And I'm not there yet. That's what she's saying. That's what he's telling her. He's not saying it ain't you. He's saying I'm not there yet. And she's not listening. She's too
No,
busy crying.
yeah, it's no, she's not listening. And you know, it, it's nowadays it's just so big of a risk because every day on social media, what we seeing is a lot of celebrities that's getting divorced. And what we see is most of the time, we hear these astronomical numbers for men financially. We hear the children and men can't see their children and you know, hell man, I seen Sugar Shane Mosley wife took that boy title belts from him.
Hmm.
She took his title belts. She took Not only did she strip him, she took the man title belt. That boy been boxing ever since he was a baby, man. All that time in the gym. And boxing, I'm gonna tell you, they don't really, a lot of them cats don't have the life we have. They don't go to elementary, junior high school, and things like that. A lot of them don't, because they spend so much time training. A lot of time, a lot of these guys, they do homeschooling. They don't have the going out and having fun with the fellas and developing these different relationships and going to the basketball. They don't really have a lot of that, man. A lot of these guys spend a ton of time in that gym and resting and getting beat up. And that boy was a was a champion, man. And for one thing, he had his wife managing all his books for number one. That was the biggest mistake. And so when they went through the divorce, judge said, boy, you got to get them title belts up. All that work he done put in, man, over the years, all that sweat, blood, tears, all that beating he took just to have to go through that. Not only that, the woman ending up with the children and all that. It's just so much when you add the government into the marriage, and that's something as that's got to be fixed. If it's not going to be fixed, before there was no information that we could see. See, when our parents was growing up, they had situations where there was horrible situations where the men would run off and leave their family, have two families across town. Women would run off with different men and all that stuff. The difference is we couldn't see that because we didn't have the internet. Now it's just examples every day. You turn on the TV every day, it's example. You got Tom Brady as example. Man, that woman got a personal trainer, and Tom Brady, the best player in the NFL, quarterback, won 7 Super Bowls, and come to find out, man, his wife cheating with the trainer. His wife is cheating with the trainer. We look at the what's her name? The Tamia Lowry. We look at what Will Smith going through, what Steve, all these it's just where we at now. It's just examples after examples. So when you see a man sitting there hesitating, man, he thinking, man, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this happened? What if that happened? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? And she up there crying and crying and crying and crying. And the man sitting up here saying, man, I ain't ready for that right now. I ain't ready for that now. Because that's a giant leap when you got you, her, and the government in a contract.
Yeah.
You in
And
a three-way contract. Go ahead.
I think that marriage is big on both ends, because just as you spoke on all the men, you find women like Mary J. Blige,
Oh, she paying
they
she
take,
paying alimony.
yeah, so
Whoa.
there's several women that's marry these guys, and they manage them, and Wendy Williams, and these guys take advantage of them, and then they're paying alimony, to these men as well. So marriage is big on both sides of the boards now. But my thing is, when there are key factors that are so present before you and that person even, get to marriage, why are you overlooking these things? Like, she's so emotional and so all over the place. Like, is there room for error? We know in marriage there are going to be a lot of things that are going to come up. Life is going to life. Is she mentally stable to handle that?
Yeah,
I
you
would
right. She don't
question.
look.
I don't care if you've
Man,
been with her
she look a little
five
off
years.
balance, man.
Yeah, she's breaking down over giving 5 years. There's women who be with men that have been with them 10, 20 years and have several kids. I think we did a show with somebody who had been with the man 20 years and they was not married and have kids with them and they still don't get married.
Man, I
You
see
know,
cats be together for 10, 15 years,
yes,
get married, and then
yes.
get divorced the next year.
The next year, so in these type, marriage has become such a big deal now in society because everybody is afraid of the loss. Everybody, so nobody values the commitment and being with each other and having that partner in life more than they value what will happen to me when this marriage is over. So we have people entering into marriages now thinking what it looks like when it's over. And I think if that's where you are in your mind, then maybe you shouldn't be getting married. I'm not going into a marriage looking at what's going to happen when it's over. What it looks like when it's over because hopefully that you choose a mate that you both understand that if this marriage ends, we both still have a life after that marriage. But it's so unfortunate that there's so many things that go on in that marriage and feelings and emotions that pile up. Just like men. Men, things will happen and they will argue about them. They'll say what they need to say about them and they're done with it. They're not holding on to it. It's not buried. It's not a grudge. But women will hold on to it, hold on to it, hold on to it. And then once those emotions get so high and they stack so much in their mind and in their heart, that emotion consumes them. And then they're angry. They're angry with about all the things that has transpired in a marriage, not realizing that I don't care what a marriage look like on social media, it still goes through some of the same trials and tribulations. And I'm just talking about everyday life. I'm not life things. I'm not talking about infidelity. I'm just talking about the things that are going to come up because you are two people that now have to learn how to live with each other. And that could be difficult. That can be extremely difficult.
Yeah, for real.
So it requires a lot.
Yeah, that's no lie. Um, man, it's one of them things where, well, hell, man, being that this era is the soft era, you got more men out here acting like women than anything, man. More
Yeah.
men out here acting like women. So, you know, you would say women, like with all the different temptation out here, it's easy for them to act on their feelings and act impulsive, especially when they quote unquote get bored in the relationships, not feeling this way in the relationship and feeling that way. A lot men used to be, and I'm not gonna say it's just all men right now, but I'm starting to see a lot of softness. Uh, you know, they act more like women. They up here talking about I'm bored in a relationship. Or I don't feel this way. You don't need to feel nothing in a relationship. You just need to be at peace in a relationship. That's it. Just be at peace. That's all you need to be. I don't need to be happy. I just don't want to have no problems. That's all. I don't want to have no
Amen.
problem. I don't need it because I ain't finna get bored anyway. As a man, you shouldn't never get bored because you always need to be planning something. You always should have goals that you have to work on. I'm never bored a minute in my life. Never bored. I don't get bored. Cause why? If at the very least, I'm planning something in my head to do. Or if it ain't got or if it's not something I need to take care of.
Correct.
Period.
Well, I hope he take heed to what the judge is trying to say to him and the things that are coming out her mouth and the fact that she's keeping a tab on all the things that she does for him. Um, I just hope he takes heed to those things and maybe they can get some counseling and some help. But the judge see it the way we see it. they are just not compatible. I'm sorry.